Allowing us to see this out. Pray, oh God, that you would go with us, direct us, and may all that we do from this moment on meet with your divine approval. Bless each person now in this particular group. Give them renewed determination to keep ever looking to you. For we know all our help comes from you. Hold us, keep us, and oh God, all you gotta do, we're gonna say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Give you the praise and give you the honor. Amen. 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 Everybody say, everybody say, amen. Everybody say,
oh, okay.
Let me tell you what, the way we chose the place we were going to do movements is when we heard the people singing their own freedom songs. Because not only were they in the movement, but the movement was in them. That's how we knew, okay? And we even had a song that we sang where we didn't even know what to sing.
We love you in the springtime, in the fall. Miss Boynton, Miss Boynton, we love you. Miss Boynton, we love you. We love you most of all.
The power of the ballot. I want all of us to be proud that we marched today across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, but we can't stop now. We've got to send a message to Governor Bentley and to Luther Strange and to the Alabama legislature, those Republicans in particular, who will not extend Medicaid. We want them to know that we are not going to be satisfied until Medicaid is extended in the state of Alabama. It makes no sense for us to lose 30,000 jobs. It makes no sense for our governor, who is a doctor, to let thousands of people die because they can't get Medicaid treatment. We must send a message to them. If President Barack Obama could provide the leadership to give us affordable care so that every American can have accessible and affordable care, and here in Alabama we can't embrace that, we've got to send a message that we are not satisfied. And in this election in the fall, we're going to get registered to vote, and we're going to go to the polls and elect some people who will extend Medicaid, who will embrace the Affordable Care Act, who will make sure that we support public education and not private education. That's what we're fighting for. The Congress gutted the Voting Rights Act. We are going to Washington to let Congress know that we will not be satisfied until the Voting Rights Act is fully restored. Fully restored.
How are we going to sustain the gains that we've already made? And you know how we're going to do that? The way we got the gains. We got to keep on marching. We got to keep on singing. Because the reason why people keep on marching is because they have something on the inside that has to come on the outside. When we choose a place where we're going to have a movement, and you know all of our movements are named after places. When I say Montgomery movement, you know what I mean. When I say the Birmingham movement, you know what I mean. When I say the Albany movement, you know what I mean. When I say St. Augustine, you know what I mean. And when I say Selma, Alabama, the world knows what I mean.
That's right.
I mean, we have some mean people. That's what I mean. And we got some of their grandchildren right now trying to imitate their grandparents in Congress, in our state legislatures. But the question is, what we going to do?
I'm going home to be with Jesus.
When we march, the Bible says, everywhere you tread, you will possess it. Marching, the purpose of marching is to be a symbol that you and I will not go backwards. In fact, two things happened when you came across that bridge. One thing is you had to go up to get over. Y'all didn't hear what I said. You had to go up to get over. And that's what we got to have in this nation. This nation has got to go up. Because some folk are doing some low-down things. When you deny people Medicaid, that's low down. When you take people's unemployment, that's low down. When you try to steal people's voting rights that have been dipped in blood, that's low down. So when we walked across that bridge, we went up to go over. We're saying we've got to take America from the low road of destruction back to the path of higher ground. Tell your neighbor, we got to take this nation to higher ground. Say higher ground, where every child is educated. Higher ground, where the sick have insurance. Higher ground, where we have voting rights and equal protection. So we've got to go up in order to go over. But then the other purpose of marching, Reverend Gatewood, is that there is no definition of marching backwards. Think about it. An army never marches back. They will turn around, but they don't. You can't march backwards. There's no language for it. If you start going backwards, people don't say you're marching backwards. They say you're going backwards. The only way you can march is forward. Say forward together. Not one step back. Say forward together. Not one step back. Now you ought to know, not only are we in the 49th year of this, but here we stand 60 years after Brown. 59 years since the murder of Emmett Till. 54 years since students sat down in Greensboro. 50 years since Fannie Lou Hamer said there comes a time you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. 50 years since the murder of Medgar Evers. 50 years since the March on Washington. 50 years since girls were blown up in Birmingham. 49 years since Bloody Sunday. 50 years since the signing of the Civil Rights Act. 49 years since the signing of the Voting Rights Act. 45 years since the assassination of Dr. King. 44 years since my own parents integrated schools in the South. We cannot go backwards. And we have to understand that there are extremists in this country. Do you know when people deny folk health care, they are trying to go back 100 years? Did you know that it was a Republican named Teddy Roosevelt that first suggested health care for all and minimum wage? That means when you see people who claim to be Republican wanting to take Medicaid and health care and minimum wage and unemployment, they are not true Republicans. They are extremists who are trying to go backwards. But touch three people and say, you can't march backwards. Think about it. When people tell you, Brother Ford, that the way to have a great America is this. Here's the entire platform of extremists. You want a great country? Deny education, cut health care, cut unemployment, cut minimum wage. It's low down, isn't it? And then take people's voting rights. And then after you've done that, give people guns. And give the wealthy more tax breaks. That's their whole plan. But that's an attempt to march backward, being a great majority that has made it better for the world. It's always a strong minority that refuses to go back and understands the purpose of their life. Now, the second thing about marching, say the second thing, is if you march, it's got to reveal power. It's got to reflect power. You see, when they marched, where's Bernard? They chose Selma because there was the notorious brutality under Sheriff Jim Clark. Mean dude. And they chose Selma to prove that nonviolence was more powerful than him. And that they could be nonviolent and force him to act out, and then if he acted out, the whole nation would see it. Because when you march, it's got to reflect your power. Now let me tell you, I'm from North Carolina. And when these folks, well, I'm in Alabama now, when these extremists came into our legislature, in the first 50 days, they cut 500,000 people's Medicaid. 900,000 people's earned income tax credit. 170,000 people's unemployment. And people were walking around depressed, Reverend Spearman. Folk in North Carolina were saying, nothing we can do, they got a majority. Then on April the 4th, the anniversary of Dr. King's death, they rolled out the worst voter suppression bill ever in the country since Jim Crow. And we decided we had to march. That we had to show them that their puny political power is not greater than the power of the people and the power of God. See, Dr. King never told us to go back to D.C. He said go back to Alabama. Your congressperson doesn't get elected in D.C.
That's right.
Your senator doesn't get elected in D.C. Your state legislators don't pass rules in D.C. They pass rules in Montgomery. Now don't get offended by this. Don't hear what I'm saying. We don't need you to come to North Carolina to take care of our legislature. We'll do that. You take care of Alabama. And then Georgia, you take care of Georgia. And then Florida, you take care of Florida. And then South Carolina, you take care of South Carolina. And Mississippi, you take care of Mississippi.
My nephew, Kendrick Strickland Jr., won the Mr. Debonair. It was an all-male ball that they sponsor in Mississippi on the coast. And he was supposed to come and represent a group of kids, and for every book of tickets he sold, kids were able to come on this trip for free. He had a car accident and wasn't able to come, so I'm coming to kind of let him know what he's missed out on and fill him in on what this experience was all about, you know.
All right, what's your message to him today?
My message to Kendrick Strickland Jr. is that we love you, we wish you were here, we're coming here in your honor to represent you as best we can.